Hey, aloha. All right. I am live, and this is the first time that I have been live on YouTube for quite a while. And I'm going to break a couple rules of video etiquette here. What I'm going to do is I am going to let a couple people get on here before I really go deep. But I want to tell you what today is about. I have reached a place in my awareness and in my work where it's time for me to talk about something that's been up for me for quite a while. Something I've been dealing with and helping a lot of people around the world with. And I've run into enough people who had spent 5 or 6 figures on self-help, people that have been involved in the law of attraction, in studying personal development, and in, quote, working on themselves for years or decades, only to find themselves still feeling hopeless, powerless, confused, and in some cases suicidal. And that was enough for me to decide that it's time for me to do this. It's time for me to actually do this video and talk about this topic. So I see my first viewer has joined me, and let me get over to my YouTube channel now. All right, some people starting to show up. Welcome, welcome. If you will, grab a drink. We're going to be here for a little while, maybe a half an hour or so. I'm going to blast through some very valuable, very powerful information that is the result now of well over $300,000 that I've invested, decades of working on myself, and now 7 years of helping, going on 100,000 people around the world. And the insight that I've gained on this very important, essential topic. And I'm really excited to bring this to you. I just want to let a couple more people get on before I get deep into the stuff here. So let me jump over to my YouTube view. I'm going to invite you, as you guys are joining, if you will, type in and let me know where you're coming from and what was it, where in the world, what part of the planet you're joining me from, and what was it that inspired you to watch this video, to join me for this, either live as a replay. And I'm going to be coming back over the next few days, and I'm going to be checking in on all of the comments. If you guys ask any questions, you ladies ask any questions, I'm going to be chiming in and responding over the course of the next days and weeks to this video, because this is an important one and it can change a lot of lives. So I'm going to be watching for comments, and I am going to get into my notes here. Aloha, Dewi. My first comment from my honey. All right. I did a test. I have not been live on YouTube in a couple of years, 2 or 3 years. And I did a test, and I had 4 viewers show up in less than a minute. So I was anticipating there's actually a possibility that we may have a crowd here. If not, that's fine. I'm not going to worry about the comments. I'm going to get into the content. So bring my notes over here. All right. Here is what you're going to learn today. I'm going to share with you the idea that there might be a deep, insidious lie hidden inside the law of attraction. Whether it's intentional or not, I'm going to let you decide. What is the truth of the law of attraction? Does it even exist? If so, how does it exist, and what is it really? What is it? How can you master it and actually go beyond the law of attraction all the way in to total personal freedom? And I want to just take a moment to set the stage for this. So if you would be willing to close your eyes, if you're happy to do that. If not, you can feel this regardless. I want you to just imagine living beyond religion and beyond ideas of right and wrong, beyond ideas of personal development and self-improvement and getting it right and laws that you have to follow. I want you to imagine, if you will, being able to go where you want, when you want, with whom you want. Buying, selling, giving, donating, sharing, purchasing, and giving away the way you want, making time and money non-issues. And just about anyone would say that's a pretty decent definition of freedom, the ability to go where you want, when you want, with whom you want. Buying, selling, giving, donating, buying, and giving away, making time and money non-issues. It goes way deeper than that. Living in a state of high health and energy and vitality, getting out of bed excited in the morning, falling asleep easily at night because you did the things that you most wanted to do with passion during the day, in a state of high health, energy, and vibrancy, in deep, loving, connected relationships, knowing that you can communicate authentically and safely and bare your soul and connect deeply with others. That's what I mean by freedom. Can you imagine living in that state? Can you feel living in that state? And once again, releasing all rules and codes and structures, just doing it. Can you imagine? Okay. Now, bear with me, if you will, since I haven't gone live, as I said, on YouTube for quite a while. I'm just checking in to see how we're doing on live viewers and where we are on chat. Okay, good. So I will just continue here with my notes, with what I'm here to share today. And as you are joining, if you want to, please type in where you're joining from and what was it that inspired you to actually join me on this live or to come back and watch this video as a replay. The same link's going to work for both. All right. So imagining that freedom and imagining going beyond ideas and tools and systems. Here's the reality. Right now, people are hurting. There are hundreds of millions of people that are hurting. And maybe you at times, maybe right this minute, maybe 15 minutes ago, maybe before you go to bed, maybe tomorrow, maybe yesterday. There are people that are suffering from diseases that are unnecessary. There are people that are suffering in their relationships, really either lonely, flat out lonely, or finding it virtually impossible to hold a close, connected, deep, intimate relationship. And no matter what they do, the same patterns keep emerging. People with children and finding themselves losing their temper, not really knowing how to connect with their kids at the deepest level. This creates pain, deep, lasting, grinding pain that the solutions that are being offered around the world, including the law of attraction, fall very far short of solving. There are people living in chronic emotional pain about so many different topics. There are people just, no matter what they do, they can't get enough money. They've tried, they've watched all the videos, they've raised their vibration, they've done everything that Abraham and all the great teachers say, and it's just not working. So what I see is millions and millions and millions of people in pain. We try religion, we try spirituality, we try energy work, we try personal development and seminars and all the things. And then around 2006, if I'm not mistaken, it was, this movie came out called The Secret that promised to change everything. And it offered this new idea to millions and millions and millions of people, this idea of the law of attraction. Now, it was a powerful idea that brought out the idea that we might be responsible. Many of us had been hearing that we create our own reality, but we had no idea of how to understand it. And so we just bought the idea of the law of attraction. I mean, it was powerful, it was sexy, it was very well presented, it was very incomplete, and it had some inaccuracies. And millions of people bought it. I bought it. Oh my God, The Secret, this is it, this is the answer. Millions of people fell for it, and millions of people are still falling for it, and they're still suffering. Just pulling my notes up here. Now, every week in my work, and I'm going to tell just a little bit more about me for in case you're new to me, this is the first time you've heard me. I'll tell you a little bit more about me in a couple minutes and why people call me the Spellbreaker. But here's the reality. Every week, I encounter people who have spent 4, 5, and even 6 figures on self-help, personal development, seminars, law of attraction courses, energy work. And they're just as stuck as they ever were, except for one thing. They feel worse because they feel it. They've tried everything and nothing has worked. And maybe one of the questions that I'm going to ask in just a moment, you might be able to relate to the things that people are telling me that they feel about why this is. People doing everything they're told. People running to YouTube 3 times a day to watch law of attraction videos and energy videos to try to raise their vibration. Okay. Now, when you go to a video, here's a hint about this lie that I'm talking about, the biggest lie in the whole law of attraction world. People are told that if they will just raise their vibration, they can get through anything. They can fly through the stars. But what they're being told to do with this is to avoid the issues in their life that are causing the issues in the first place. What are the roots of that? Just avoid that and go raise your vibration again. Now go raise it again. Now go raise it again. And the catch is that every time that you go and raise your vibration by watching a video or listening to a song, knowing in the back of your mind that you're ignoring the issues underlying it all, you end up feeling a little worse and a little more skeptical and a little more cynical. Now, if you can relate to that, type it in the comments. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to do one more quick scan just to see if any more viewers have joined us. Got a couple more, and we're not going to have a big river of comments here. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cover that up with my notes. If anyone has any comments or any questions, I do welcome them, and I'm definitely going to join in the interaction. My main purpose on this video is to deliver this value, deliver this benefit, and help possibly you. I'm going to help whoever is ready for it and wanting it. All right, so a couple questions for you to consider, and I'll invite you to type your answers in the comments so that I can come back. A huge majority are going to be seeing this on the replay, not live. So I'm going to be coming back and reading every one of these comments and communicating with you. Here's my few questions. I want to ask you to actually write your answers, if you will. Do you believe that there is a law of attraction? So if the answer to that is yes, just say LOA, yes. If you believe there is a law of attraction, I want to see what percentage of people watching this video actually do believe there is. Question number 2, do you ever feel frustrated about your results with the law of attraction? And you could say LOA frustrated or LOA frust, so that I know that that is a yes as well. Now here's a deep one. Do you ever feel that either, based on your results with the law of attraction, do you ever feel that either the gurus are hiding something from you, or that maybe you're missing something? And you could type in hiding or missing, or if you feel, you could say both, that you absolutely feel both, that maybe they're hiding something, maybe there's something not being revealed about it, maybe you're not getting a complete picture, and maybe you actually also simultaneously feel that even if there is accuracy, that you're missing something. Okay, I'd love to hear your comments on that. I'm going to respond to all of that. Now, here is, okay, got some comments starting to come in. Yay! I almost always go live, like at least once a week I go live on Facebook. I haven't been live on YouTube for at least 3 years now. And so my reach has gone way down. I'm going to be going live here a whole lot more. And that's going to climb back up. Okay, so check this out. Just modifying my notes. I want to make sure I give everything I possibly can. So here is my very, very, very brief story to put this into perspective for you. So I had a severely abusive childhood. And when I say severely, I basically had the crap beaten out of me mentally, emotionally, and physically, virtually every day for the first 17 years of my life. Came up with super low self-esteem that put me into, I created a train wreck out of my life. I got into self-help at a super early age, around 17, and I spent well over 30 years spending tens of thousands of hours on self-help, over $300,000 that I invested studying quantum physics, going to the seminars, going to every event that I could find, buying every course, every program that I could find that said it was going to help me to create the life that I wanted, to step into that freedom that we talked about at the beginning. My life got worse and worse and worse and worse. And then in 2011, after all of it, I hit the lowest point in my life, and I was suicidal, I was stuck, and I was ready to end it. Couldn't have gotten worse. And at the lowest hopeless point, and I mean, literally, I had no way out, and I just gave up. I let go. And in that moment, I stepped out of the idea of infinite possibilities into living and experiencing it. I stepped out of the idea that everything is energy and into the experience of literally seeing it. I saw how the universe comes into being. I saw how I'm responsible, and I saw how to create the life of my dreams. And I went from 46 years of living in hell to freedom literally in a flash. I went from homeless to living the dream in Hawaii in less than 70 days. A few months later, I was inspired to create the business I do today, which is called Level 5 Mentoring, where I am now well on the way to helping 100,000 people. We're over 80,000 people now in 83 countries that I've not helped them to use the law of attraction. I've not helped them to solve problems. I've helped them to take their steps into infinite, unlimited freedom. And I have people flying out to my home. So I have a #1 international bestseller you're going to find about in a moment that is a free gift. We give the entire #1 international bestseller and several videos away absolutely free. From that, all the way up to my highest offering, where people pay 5 figures to fly out and spend 4 days with me here in Hawaii, resolving all of their life issues. And the miraculous, here on YouTube, you can look and see dozens of testimonial videos of people saying, holy crap, I tried it all. This is the real deal. Okay. Now, the reason I tell you that is because I'm helping these people who have spent all that money and all those years, and typically their lives have gotten worse, not better. Even if they had breakthroughs and movements in some areas, the areas that were the most painful to them weren't changing. So I want to ask you, how about you? Is that true at all for you? Because if it is, what I'm about to say and what I'm about to share could make the difference. It could literally change everything for you. So the way this came to light, this lie in the law of attraction, okay, I'm a member of a Facebook group with well over 100,000, probably up to 130,000 people right now that are focused on one of the biggest teachers in the law of attraction realm, a teacher that I respect and admire as well. However, from day one, I had a suspicion that there was something missing in these teachings. And that was really strange to me, because other than that, all the teachings coming out of this, let's just say otherworldly teacher, were flawless and perfect and so beneficial and so helpful. I just couldn't comprehend, why would they leave this thing out? And here's what I saw happening. In this group, I had a couple friends who every once in a while would message me and say, hey, Brian, I found another suicidal person in the group. Would you be willing to help them? And I just, if my heart says yes, I always jump in and help. And I would communicate with the person. And here's what I heard. Brian, I've been a member of this group. I've been following this teacher for a long time. It's the biggest law of attraction teacher in the world, by the way. You know, I've tried everything they've said. I go to YouTube a couple times a day and I watch their videos trying to raise my vibration, and things are getting worse. Things are getting worse. Things are getting worse. And I finally reached the point where nothing's working. I know something's wrong with me and I'm ready to end my life. And I'm able to share a few minutes with them and give them my free book and watch them over the next few days flower into the life of their dreams. And it has now happened over and over and over, where today was kind of like the last straw for me. I said, you know, I just kind of got to do this. The urge in me is too strong. I got to share this. So here's what they're being told. Here's the lie in a nutshell. You don't have to deal or think about or deal with in any way your stuff. You don't have to deal with it. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to work through childhood trauma. You don't have to, in fact, looking at any of that stuff, that's being negative. And so what was happening was, even in this group, like literally the internet miracle that it is, Facebook being this huge interconnected miracle that it is, the biggest group possibly on the planet of the highest teacher in the realm of the law of attraction, 100,000 plus people in this group being told, don't be negative, looking at your stuff, talking about your stuff, that's negative. Go and buy our stuff, you know, or go to one of our seminars, or buy this product, or watch this thing, or we get, you know, tons and tons and tons, hundreds and hundreds of, probably thousands by now, of their videos on YouTube that people go and watch to, quote, raise their vibration, while being told that they do not have to look at their stuff, that if they'll just be positive, everything is going to work out. And it doesn't. Now, in my work, helping now going on 100,000 people, working very intimately with thousands and thousands of people around the world in every culture, every race, from billionaires to homeless people, what I have found is uniform is that if we will go in and find their inner pain, the anger, sadness, and fear that's tied to, quote, trauma. Now, trauma doesn't have to be that you went through a war. Trauma can be that you were 2 years old and you got spanked with a belt. That is severe trauma to a 2-year-old. Make no mistake about it. Being yelled at when you're very small and you were joyful, and the parent who feeds and sustains and protects and takes care of you, having them scream at you with anger is trauma. So I don't want you to think that that's trauma means some big thing. It doesn't. Any traumatic moment freezes emotion inside of the body tissues that eventually shows up as physical symptoms, disease, health conditions, etc. It shows up as frozen emotion in us that causes us to do what other people call getting triggered, to where there are topics in our lives where we just can't function. We're irrational, we're out of control, we're a little cuckoo at times. You could just think right now, is there any area of life where there's something you really, really, really want, and no matter what you do, it stays out of reach? And you get a little bit kooky about it. Is there anything in your life that you don't want anymore, and no matter what you do, it keeps showing up? Well, those are the fruits of what I'm talking about. And what I find without exception is that when those people finally have had enough and they come to me, and we use what I call spell breaking to dissolve the traumatic incident and dissolve the anger, sadness, and fear, all of the emotions that were frozen in their body, that topic suddenly becomes an area of absolute limitless freedom for them. Now, I don't claim to heal or cure any diseases. I live in a country where I legally can't say that, but I don't care. I wouldn't say it anyway. I help people to become aware, and their diseases disappear out of their body. And I'm talking about little insignificant things like cancer and scoliosis that I've worked with people one after another after another. And when that deep inner trauma is dissolved, and when those emotions are dissolved and released, the issue that was causing that low vibration state the whole time, when it's gone, everything associated with it can literally just dissolve. You are infinitely more power than you have ever heard or seen or allowed yourself to believe. Now, so if you're learning the law of attraction, if you believe in the law of attraction, then here's what you're told. Don't be negative. Who's the authority on what's positive and negative? Because if feeling that sadness, facing that sadness, admitting that sadness, and moving through it brings my freedom, there's no way to call that negative, but that's what they do. And so they learn not to face their feelings, not to talk about them. And I see now, every week or so, I see someone in this group, and all over the internet, it's just that this group is the embodiment of it. People typing in, hey, I'm a little confused. Does anyone have any suggestions of other information that we might be able to? And people share my book, which again is free, or I reach out to them, or one of my friends in the group says, hey, have you heard of Brian's book? Okay, so check this out. Hi, Linda. How do you target the point of trauma? It is very, very simple, and I'm going to give you something to help you do that in a moment, but right now I'm going to give you the basic. Here it is. I can see the comments are very much lagging here, so they're just now starting to come through. The basic way to target the point of trauma, you could literally sit down right now and make a list of 2 things to get yourself started. Number 1, is there anything in my life that I really, really, really want, and no matter what I do, it stays out of reach? Write that list and be very present and keep writing until you feel done. Okay? Might take a little while if you're really honest, and you're going to find there's things that were hidden, that they were so painful you've been hiding them from yourself. You can also then ask the second question, which is there anything in my life that I really, 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 really don't want any friggin' more, that no matter what I do, it somehow keeps showing back up? Like, classic examples are you have this terrible relationship with this jerk. You know it's their fault. It's very obvious that it's their fault. And so you finally leave the relationship. You leave. You're not in a relationship because you don't want to deal with that shit anymore. And then you find someone who's just absolutely amazing. You move in with them after a little while, and 90 days later, you realize you're with the exact same damn person again. How did that happen? Or you leave your job and you move 3,000 miles away because everybody there is so fucking negative, and you move 3,000 miles away, and 90 days on the job, you go, oh my God, these are the same people that I just left. What is going on here? So that's a really good way to help starting to feel this. And then I'm going to share again in a moment. I'm going to share more to help you be able to target that trauma and actually begin to dissolve it. Okay. So let me tell you kind of the bottom line. Let me see how long. I'm almost 30 minutes here. This is excellent. Okay. So we're born into this world. Can't deny that one. Here we are, we're born. And we immediately begin getting programmed by people who don't have any desire to program us. They have no idea they're programming us. Those lovely parents or the caregivers in our home, they begin to tell us everything that they think and believe that they know. And because they all believe that they're in a physical world and that they're separate and that life is hard, everything that they teach us is basically false, because we are actually infinite, unlimited energy in a state of infinite possibilities. So virtually everything that we learn, and that information that our parents program us with, is charged with emotion from all the things they never dealt with. And guess what else? Culture that affected them, religion that affected them. Just notice in the comments. Okay. And all of that through our parents, culture, religion, history, all the things they think and believe they know. Everything they ever learned to be true from the medical system of their time and place. Medical programming. Everything that they learned educationally, programmed in. Everything about what they are. Everything military, everything patriotic, everything governmental. Everything religious and spiritual, all programmed in. So religion plays this huge role in our lives with all of the guilt and shame and hope and everything that comes with it. And then we find the secret. We find the law of attraction. We go, oh my God, look at this. It's amazing. It says I'm responsible for everything, and I'm creating my whole life. Wow, what a fascinating thing. And without dealing with our shame and our guilt and our blame and our programming and our unconscious, unaware addiction to all of that shame and blame and guilt and fault and wrong and bad and negative belief systems, we step into the law of attraction. We say, no, I'm done with religion. I'm spiritual now. But we don't realize that we're taking all of our religious baggage in with us. I've joked for a couple years now that one of these days I'm going to make a video called How to Continue Beating Yourself to Death Using the Law of Attraction. Because what we're doing is we're trading in our religious self-abuse and programming for putting all of that now under the law of attraction, which has become our new religion, whether we know it or not. Okay. What about if our parents never programmed us into religion? That is it's a great question, Linda, and it's deeper than I'm going to go on this video in depth. I can just say this to you. Every single one of us has been colored by the religious forces that are in the geographical area where we live and the chronological time period. So that I once heard a wise person say, you can't walk through a kitchen where someone's cutting onions without walking out smelling like them. Okay. And we're in a world where the beliefs of religion and all the things that come with it are actually inherent in the language and in the programming of everything else. So no matter what, none of us were untouched. I'm not making religion a bad thing. I'm saying it's a factor in our programming, period. Okay? And now let me move to the bottom line of this whole thing here. I'll just keeping a half an eye on the chat. All right. The law of attraction is an idea. And I do have another question I'm going to ask before I wrap up my kind of big idea bottom line here. As I said earlier, I will be checking the comments because I can see that the huge majority of viewers are going to watch this after the fact. So I'm going to be coming back for the replay comments. And I'd like to ask you this, even if you're watching the replay, if you would type in the comments and tell me the answer to this question. Do you believe that the law of attraction, this may turn into a couple questions. Do you believe that the law of attraction actually exists, period? You believe that it exists, and be honest with yourself and feel, wow, is this something that I believe actually is something that exists? Because what I'm about to say can be very, very revolutionary for you. You are an infinite, unlimited, eternal being of energy. This universe that we live in, I go deeply into this in some of my other videos. The universe that we live in is infinite, unlimited, eternal, perfect energy. It's not right and wrong. It's not good and bad. It's not positive and negative. It is infinitely beyond those. And whether you go down into an atom of gold or an atom of helium or an atom of lead, it doesn't matter. You get down into that atom, you discover there is literally nothing there. There's nothing physical. Inside of it is 99.99999% empty space. And if you go down into the things that seem physical, that tiny little nucleus and those itty bitty electrons, you find that they're not real either. They're just lights blinking in and out of existence. Therefore, if the universe is infinite, unlimited energy, then it doesn't matter how many things we build out of that stuff or how complex the things that we see are. They're made out of infinite, unlimited energy, which is light blinking in and out of existence with no solidity, no physicality whatsoever, no matter how it appears to us. And if everything in the universe is infinite, unlimited, eternal, complete, perfect energy, then what are you behind the scenes? What must you be? Your infinite, unlimited, eternal energy. Therefore, any and every idea, any and every belief that you ever grow about what is, that's based on the idea that there's anything physical, it's going to be false. It's going to be an error. And our thought systems rule our lives and our destinies. Well, along that line, all the laws and all the rules that we're given are given as part of the physical universe, which is a false model of the universe in the first place. So ultimately, the law of attraction doesn't even exist. There is no such thing. Ultimately, at the highest level of consciousness and freedom, it doesn't exist. Even at the lower levels, it is just another belief system that maybe when we're stepping out of our Christian programming or and I'm not knocking anybody can be any religion they want to be. You're an infinite, unlimited being. I don't knock or criticize anything anyone believes. For those of us who do, who step out of our Christian programming, who step out of our Buddhist programming, who step out of whatever it might be, and we say, you know what, I'm spiritual now. I'm not religious anymore. And then we learn about the law of attraction and we start living it. It becomes our religion, whether we know it or not. And what I see the law of attraction as, it's kind of like training wheels for a spiritual being. We've let go of the ball and chain of religious belief. And now we put on these training wheels of the law of attraction. I'm going to learn how it's true that I'm creating my universe. I'm going to learn how it's true that I'm responsible for everything and that I can actually be and do and have and experience anything and everything that I want. It's just an idea. There's a word called nominalizations, and a nominalization is a word or phrase that doesn't point to a thing. It doesn't point to a thing. It points to another idea or set of ideas. And that's going to mean different things to everybody, and it has no physical reality. None. So the law of attraction is one of those ideas. And here's the thing. it depends on how you believe in it, what you believe about it. That's what dictates what you're going to get. And all these people that are being told and taught that the law of attraction exists, and they're stepping out of their past, and now they learn, I'm responsible for my reality, I'm creating my reality. They start to look at their creations and they say, how did I create that? How did I attract that? And now they've created a whole nother mental trap for themselves. And then they're told, and don't be negative. Don't be negative. You don't want to be negative. Don't talk negative, to where in a group that's there for support with over 100,000 law of attraction followers and fans, they can't state their pain and their confusion and get any real help, because they're told that that would be being negative, which is going to create more of what they don't want. So they endlessly run to YouTube or to their DVD collection to watch one of those videos to raise their vibration without dealing with the actual root issue that's causing that thing to happen again and again and again and again. And it's a little bit worse than that, because each time that they go and try to raise their vibration without dealing with the thing, they feel a little more hopeless and a little more foolish and a little more hopeless and a little more foolish on their way to finally giving up. And every month or so, I see another one of those people finally become suicidal. Now, it doesn't matter where you are on the scale, whether you're moving towards suicidal or whether you're doing great, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If there's anything in your life that you really, 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 really want, and no matter what you do, it's been staying out of reach and it just continues to happen. And if there's anything in your life that you really, 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 really don't want, causing you pain, sadness, anger, fear, and it continues to come back no matter what you do, what I'm talking about is the key and the solution for you. It's not about negative and positive. Those are mental ideas that it is time for us to transcend as we realize that what is. It's infinite, unlimited energy in a state of infinite possibilities. That's what is, and that's what I am, and that's all there is to it. And if we will focus there, and as we begin to go for what it is that we truly want to experience, if we do that, we're going to meet those traumatic feelings and experiences. And if we stop and run off and raise our vibration, then we're leaving alone the thing that was there to help us step into what we want to experience. I'm here to tell you, you absolutely must deal with the root cause of those things if you want them to disappear. It doesn't mean that you're focusing on them. It doesn't mean that you're not focusing on the positive, you're focusing on the thing. No, you're dissolving. If you suddenly found yourself with a rope tied around your ankle in a house that was on fire, would you sit and think, I'm not going to focus on that rope? That would be negative. No, you'd cut the damn rope or chew it off with your teeth if you had to. You would do what it took to get rid of that rope so that you could get out of the house, which is where you want to be. So it is time for us to deal with those ropes and those chains with a system that actually works. And the best news of all is I am going to give you the entire thing absolutely free with no strings attached. Okay? In fact, technically, I've already done it. If you will look at the description for this video, it's there right now while I'm live, and as soon as I end this and this video goes up as the replay, it's right there in the description. I wrote the book Break Your Self-Help Addiction, kind of a humorous title. I wrote that book 2 years ago to be the book that I was looking for my 30 plus years of self-help misery. I didn't hide anything. I didn't hold anything back, and I dissolved all of the myths and all of the lies, and I gave the straightest, most efficient and effective path to stepping into freedom that probably you have ever seen. It's definitely the most that I've ever seen after spending $300,000 over the course of 30 plus years, tens of thousands of hours. And again, what I hear every day is, Brian, I spent years or decades, I've spent 4 or 5 or 6 figures on my self-help journey, and I got more out of your free book. I got more out of your free video than I got out of everything that I had ever done. Now check this out. That book that you're getting absolutely free, it's not some like dumbass sideshow. It is my life's work put into one quick read book. It went international #1 bestseller in multiple categories on Amazon overnight. I was a totally unknown author, and we reached #1 international bestseller. We're up to nearly 300 5-star reviews on Amazon. This thing is no joke, and people are having ahas, epiphanies, breakthroughs, and every week I hear about another miracle that someone experienced, from a health issue dissolving to a money situation finally turning around, to family relationship problems that no matter what, they had tried everything. This is from the book that I give away free. It comes with several free videos that will actually help you to go even deeper, where this spell breaking process that I was talking about, I actually go through spell breaks on the videos with people. You get to watch and go along. All right. Now, thank you. So check this out. Got a couple comments here. So if we see and experience things that we perceive to be negative, is that what we created, and why? If you see anything, you created it. It isn't positive or negative. The universe that you experience, and this is way deeper than I'm going to be able to really explain on this short video that I'm about to wrap up. You'll get it all in my book. We've all heard that we create our reality. Very few of us understand it, and very few of us, even less, have any idea of how to begin living the truth that we create our reality on a moment to moment to moment basis. Okay, you're going to learn exactly how in my book. Okay, now Linda says the book is wonderful, no question, but yes, how do we really bust free? The way that we bust free is by becoming absolutely, utterly, totally, and completely present, which means the absence of all of the programming, the presence of the infinite, unlimited being that I truly am. I'll say that again. Absolutely, utterly, totally, and completely present. All of the infinite, unlimited being that I truly am, here now, minus all of the programming. That's the answer. And what I do, the work that I do, is to help people to achieve that in the straightest, simplest way possible. Okay? Hi, Linda, I am not going to do a spell break tonight. This YouTube live, rather, was just the fact that I have been doing lives on Facebook for the last few years. I haven't done one YouTube live. I really want to start reaching more people that are on YouTube. It's getting more and more. Facebook is like tightening and tightening and tightening, where no matter what we do, me and many others, we put out videos, we put other things out, and Facebook just limits the reach where almost no one can see it. I'm going to be moving over to YouTube a lot and doing a lot more lives. I'm going to be doing a whole lot more stuff on here. You're welcome, Linda. Thank you, Rosemary, for saying the book is a life changer. It is. I wrote that book to be the book that I was looking for, the book that I would have begged, and I prayed. I looked everywhere. I read hundreds of books along the way, all those other courses. I would have crawled naked across broken glass to get to that book if it had existed during my journey and open mind, yoga, and healing. So I don't know what your name is, but I see that. Welcome. Present. To be present. I'm going to say it again because you liked it. Okay? To be fully and completely present as the infinite, unlimited being that you are, completely devoid and free of all of the programming and free of all of the frozen emotion from the trauma. Completely clear, completely present. You are now able to create literally anything, because you're already creating everything you're getting. Most of it is the reflection of your unconscious and subconscious thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes. When you get clear, you're creating from your infinite power only, not from your unconscious programming and beliefs. So the book is free. Go to the description. I really appreciate you being on with me. I'm going to take 1 or 2 more questions, and then I'm going to wrap up. I very rarely do any lives that are less than an hour. This time I did. Anybody, if you're new to my work, Now would be a great time to click subscribe, because I'm going to be doing a lot more YouTube videos. I'm going to be going live on here probably every week, and eventually probably doing short lives every day. You want to make sure you're notified and you don't miss anything, because I go deeper every single time. Yay. And if anyone doesn't have the book, now is the time to click that link. Make sure you subscribe. I would really appreciate you sharing this video with anybody. I know you know people that are wrestling and struggling and suffering with that law of attraction bullshit. Okay? It is not a complete theory. It is not totally accurate. And at the highest level of consciousness, it doesn't even exist. We can be free even of that. It's just another layer of programming that we don't need. Okay? So I would really appreciate you sharing this far and wide. Help me help a bunch of people. And I appreciate you being on. In closing, I want to say this. You are an infinite, unlimited being. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. I know that your society probably said the same thing mine said, which is nobody's perfect. But that's a big fucking lie that we created so that we could suffer limitation. We can graduate today, right here and now. The word perfect means complete, and that's all it means. So everyone who ever said you're not perfect, they didn't understand that you are infinite, unlimited energy in a state of infinite possibilities, complete, eternal, flawless, and perfect. I know that. And I'm reminding you, if you're open, to hear it. And because of that, you have no price to pay. There's no wrong to fix. There's no brokenness to repair, and you don't have any punishment coming other than from yourself based on what you believe. And with that said, the infinite, unlimited being light that's in me sees the infinite, unlimited being light in you. And I close by saying, namaste, perfect, infinite mirror that you are. I look forward to seeing you soon.